So today we're going to talk about storytelling, and humans are storytellers by nature. We love to hear stories, we love to tell stories, we love a funny story, we love an adventure story, we love a horror story, we love all sorts of stories. Everything that we believe in, whether it's some values that you have, or faith that you have, or even some political views that you hold, anything really that defines you, or something that you believe in, or you identify as your identity, is basically a story. A story that resonates with who you are, a story that you believe is true, a story that you believe is powerful, and or a story that adds value or has value to you as a human. When it comes to brand storytelling, what does stories have to do with brands? So to be able to answer that question, or to tell you how brands can use storytelling to create better content, let's take a step back and look at why or how do people purchase products or buy one brand and not the other. Most of the time, brands or brand managers think that people are buying for logical reasons, like this price is better than that price, so people of course are going to buy the cheaper one. Or maybe this product has a better quality, so of course when people compare that quality to this quality, they're going to buy brand A and not brand B. But in real life, this is not how it works. When people buy a new mobile phone, or a new car maybe, or a new watch, so they're not thinking this watch is gonna tell me the time more accurately than the other watch, or this car is going to get me to that place faster. It's not really that. Most cars are going to get you from point A to point B, and that's all there is to it. No car is going to make that it's going to make it at a different time, or faster. It's not about that. It's about the experience for the driver. How do they feel when they're driving that car? What do they look like to other people when they're driving that car? What does this specific brand or specific experience provide to their friends or their families, or whoever's going to be in that car, or sharing the ride with them? To compare like a Mercedes versus a BMW, both cars are good. We all know that. But you would have people who are like completely for Mercedes and against BMW, and you would find the opposite. So it's not just the logic, it's also emotional, and sometimes it's nostalgia. Sometimes it's something that they associate with something deep down, like maybe their grandfather owned a BMW, so they were fascinated by it, and it's the first car they ever rode. So that's why they're fans of BMW, or they would favor BMW and not Mercedes. So there are so many things that, factors that are not purely logical, that are at play when we make our buying decisions. For those reasons, brands need to create their narrative. They need to differentiate themselves not through functional features. Of course, functional features are important, but then again, they're easy to copy. If you make, for example, a new mobile phone with that feature that nobody else has, soon enough your competitor is going to do the same thing, and they're going to copy that feature, and then you would feel like, okay, now I don't have a differentiator. So what differentiates you really is not the features or the functional benefits. It's more than that. It's the whole story. It's the narrative. How do you define yourself as a brand and how people relate to you? Nike, and I'm going to take Nike as a good example here. Nike has a narrative. Nike has a strong stand for that they're doing things, that they have a can-do story. They believe that everybody has the right to do better, to go all the way, to push it hard, and they believe in that equal right to everybody. They are an edgy brand, a bold brand, and people who believe in the same values, people who believe in equality, people who believe in change, people who believe in improving yourself, in doing better for yourself and for the world. These are the sort of people that would find Nike a relevant brand to them. And if Nike is more expensive than all the other alternatives, they would still buy Nike. And if Nike's competitor is providing the same quality, they're going for Nike. Because Nike represents something. Nike represents its story. Nike represents its own values, and it delivers on its brand promise. So it stands for something, and those who stand for the same thing identify with Nike and continue to choose and continue to purchase that brand because it has a story. It has something that they can relate to. So as a brand, if you're Nike's brand manager, knowing that story, how can you create content that communicates that story, that really tells who you are and what you stand for to your target audience? So you start by, for example, the athletes that Nike sponsors. They're very selective about their choice of athletes. They're very selective about the faces that they choose for their campaigns or for their TV commercials or their digital ads, whatever. Even the photographs, the pictures, the product portfolio, and the product imagery that they create tells that story. This is how storytelling is not a technique that you use to create a nice narrative and that engages people and they're like, oh, great content, and it goes viral and then that's it. No, it is every time that people see something from you, or what we call the touch point, every touch point that the customer has with that brand, it tells that story. So it's not about just creating content for a campaign or for going viral. No, it's every piece of content you create, no matter how small it is, even if it's just a caption, it's a hashtag, it's a photograph, any of those things, they should be telling a story or representing who you are as a brand. Talking about brand storytelling is not the same as saying, okay, every brand should now make films and make stories and entertain its audience, and they don't have to go for the hard sell. They have to create fun, engaging, entertaining, and inspiring movies. But this is not really the purpose here. Taking those elements from the filming or the movie industry, the entertainment, the inspiration, and those sort of things doesn't mean that this is the ultimate goal, or it does not mean that if you have a viral campaign and everyone loves it and everyone shares it online, it doesn't mean that this campaign is successful. Maybe it is or that's how it goes in the filming industry. If everyone goes to your film, if everyone watches it, or if everyone's talking about it, then it's a great success. Maybe that's the case for movie making, but with brand storytelling, you have a commercial purpose. So it's not only that. To measure the success of a campaign, or a campaign incorporating storytelling, to know whether it's successful or not is to measure the influence that it has, or the impact it has on the brand itself. So top of mind awareness is very important. Their choice at the distribution channel, or on the online sales, maybe. This is your real objective. So entertainment is great. Having a good story to tell is great. Having a viral campaign is also great. But it's not the real measure for success. It's very common that we see a very successful ad campaign, everyone's talking about it, everyone's moved by it. But at the end of the day, when you go to focus groups, or when you do customer surveys, the customers are not really happy with the brand, and they are very disappointed from the service or from the product. So even though they like the campaign, there's nothing wrong with the campaign. But if that campaign is not affecting how people perceive your brand, and it's not making their experience with your brand positive, then that campaign is not successful, even if it's based on numbers successful, but based on what people say and how you get your sales report and how you're performing. If the brand storytelling does not impact this positively, then something is off here. This is the main difference between storytelling and maybe in the movie industry, and brand storytelling, because brand storytelling has a commercial goal, and if it doesn't achieve its commercial objectives, then that campaign cannot be as successful as you want it to be.